Hello, Lori Lanezucker, founder and CEO of Impact Entrepreneur here at the Global Impact Investing Network's annual forum in Copenhagen, Denmark. And I am sitting with Peprah. Yao, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too, Laurie.
Yao, tell me about your firm. What is the name?
It's Goodwell Investments. We're an early stage investor. We invest in businesses that provide access to basic goods and services for underserved communities.
And in which countries?
So we are an African fund currently. We've got offices in Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa. In Nigeria, we've got a partner, Alethea Capital, that operate the West African region. And then in Kenya, we have an office of our own, and also in South Africa, in Cape Town.
Do you focus on specific sectors?
Yeah, so the business has been around since about 2004, but our first fund was launched in 2007 in India. It was a microfinance fund. The second fund was also a microfinance fund in India with a partner called Avishkar. And then the third fund was a West African fund, also microfinance, which has started with Alethea Capital. And over time, we realized that we're very concentrated both in region and in sector. So the fourth fund, which was called the Muntu One, was a sub-Saharan African fund, which focused more on the bedrock, which is financial inclusion, but we added agriculture, logistics and mobility, as well as a bit of energy. This new fund that we're currently raising our fifth fund, which is going to be 150 million euros. That fund looks to add on a couple more sectors. So we're looking to add education as well as health, and hopefully WASH as well.
What stage of company are you mostly looking at now? I assume with that size fund that is somewhat larger ticket sizes?
You think so, but we operate in Africa, right? And so 500,000 will get you a decent business. So our minimum ticket size in terms of investing is 500,000, but we average out about 3 to 5 million. Yeah.
And it's growth stage, or are you?
Yeah, so it's not an idea. It's a business that's been operating. It's got some revenue track record. Not necessarily profitable, but it's got a clear path to profitability, which we can work with.
So you're here at GIIN. What kinds of connections are you most interested in making while you're here?
It's quite interesting being at GIIN because you get different kind of sectors here. Unlike most, like insurance, you just meet insurance people. Pension fund, you just meet pension fund. Over here, it's like a mixed masala, as we would say in South Africa, of people, which is great. So we're here to meet investors largely because my role is investor relations, so I'm fundraising at the moment, but we're also trying to understand who's doing what, see how we can co-create and co-invest in the African story. One thing that I find, this is a personal story, it's not got nothing to do with the business, it's just how as a continent, Africa doesn't get treated on the same level as the rest of the world. You know, we speak about risk in Africa differently in the way we speak to risk about in the whole rest of the world. We speak about the politics different to the rest of the world. We speak about, it's just not seen in the same light, you know, and we need to change that narrative. If I had to step out and look at just the metrics, the continent of Africa has got great opportunity and great potential, you know, like there's great infrastructure being put into the place, there's a young, youthful population that is growing, the middle class is rising. It all bodes well for setting up decent businesses that will give you great financial return and have an impact. I mean, I hate to use the term impact because we invest in businesses that actually make sense. It's fortunate that they make an impact and that they create jobs, helping to include lots more genders and I suppose marginalized communities, but we invest in businesses and they tell good stories, and when we leave, we hope that we leave the businesses that tell good stories that have raised people's lives.
If someone in our audience wanted to learn more about Goodwell, what's the best way of learning more and reaching out?
You could either find us on Instagram, Goodwell, Goodwell. You can go into our website, www.goodwell.nl, or you can find me, Peprah, on LinkedIn, and I'm very responsive.
And just to be clear, it's Goodwell, W-E-L-L.
Not Goodwill Hunting, but Goodwell. Yeah, it's quite a cool play on the name, though, because you can do well while doing good. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, Yao, thank you so much for sitting down.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for your time.